Hey guys, how are you? Welcome to a walk with me. It's been a while. I haven't felt comfortable enough walking in this weather, in this snow, because best believe it's snowy. To be able to film and walk and talk at the same time, because I gotta look at the ground and make sure I'm not on a piece of ice, or every time I cross the street. Nobody really shovels the street area for the crosswalk. So it's always an interesting thing, and I love it when people have baby carriages. Yeah, it's really a struggle. So I came on because I've been watching, I'm watching some videos, and I have more thoughts. I have two videos that I want to talk about, and one of them, the first one, is this lovely lady. I don't remember her name. I want to say it's Anna Sedler or something. She's Swedish, and she was talking about curating her collection, bags that she doesn't like, and the reasons why, and what they remind her of. And then there was another one about her choices if she were to choose just 3 bags to start her collection with. And yeah, I found them very interesting. Let's see, where do I begin? She talks about wanting or obsessing over a bag, and then just buying the bag that you obsess over. Like, that should be your first bag, because if you buy other bags, you're still gonna have that bag in your mind, and you just should save up and get that one bag. And then on the other side, she says, and don't buy a dupe or a rep of it, because it's never going to really replace the real thing, and you're going to end up still thinking about it and then end up buying it, and then that's a waste of money or a waste of funds to spend it on a dupe when you should have just saved for the real thing. And I appreciate her perspective, but again, it's really important to clarify for ourselves that this is just one person's opinion on the internet, okay? And like, someone was about to not let me cross. This is just one person's opinion on the internet, and she says it because this is her perspective. This is how she feels. This does not represent what other people feel now. She doesn't expressly say this is just her opinion. However, it is. And so, I don't know, I feel like she's saying it as if it's a state of fact, like you're wasting your money, period. And I've heard this argument before, and I could easily say she's wasting her money by spending $5,000 on a bag. All right, so just as easily I can create the argument that she's wasting her money, just like she can create the argument I'm wasting my money. And especially if you're going to buy the dupe and then end up buying the real thing. But the real thing is a lot of money to spend on something you haven't tried out yet. And so, like, I feel like that's almost, unless it applies to you personally, you thought it through, that's almost irresponsible advice, in my opinion, right? Because the only people that can afford to do that are people that, don't need to save up for the money. Save up the money for the bag. So every time I come outside, my nose is always running. So I kind of, I was taken aback. See, this is a section, look right now, where, see, if I'm not careful, I will slip on this. This is like little ice hidden sections. And so this is why it's hard for me to talk. I really should have walked on the street here. Very irresponsible of these homeowners with this tiny little strip to walk on. Like, this is crazy. Okay, so anyway, should I cross at this point? I think so. So anyway, I found that kind of just a little bit out of touch for me. And honestly, I've bought the dupe, I've bought the rep thinking about whether that bag would be good for me in my life. And then I realized that the dupe is fine. The rep is fine, the alternate, because I don't value, again, this comes down to value, right? I don't value these leather sacks as much as she does. So, right? So because of her consideration of high value of these items, this is her opinion, and it makes sense based on her opinion, right? Because for her, these dupes are nothing, and she would know. And it's important to her to have these bags be like these high-end or these logo or directly from store or whatever, authentic, right? Whereas for someone else, that's not something of value, right? So I think we really need to take these people with a grain of salt. Like they're coming from a very specific lens, all right? And they're here to share their opinion, and you take what you want and you discard the rest, but you have to be able to sift through it. And it takes experience and time thinking through what they're saying and thinking through what their life might be like behind the camera that we don't see, because a lot of these YouTubes, they're not real. They're not real life. They're just a snippet or something they want you to see, right? So we're never going to get the full picture. You won't even get the full picture from me. I mean, there's only so much I can tell you, right? You don't know me in person. So it's hard to, as much as I'm trying to talk about myself, explain myself, I will never do a perfect job, right? So all I can do is bring yet another perspective for consideration, which is what I do. Because again, I don't have any ulterior motive or other money noise in the background, kind of changing what I say or influencing me, right? Whereas some of these influencers have money influencing what they say. I mean, so that's her. And then I was watching this other lady who buys a lot of luxury. I'm sorry if I get the camera really close. I tend to bring it close to me when I'm crossing a precarious area because I want my center of balance to be close to me. Okay, so there's this other one, and I forgot her name also. I don't pay attention. I just see their face and then I know, oh, it's this influencer. I don't really look at the bottom unless it's just Lou, whom I really follow. I mean, I started seeing her stuff again, although I still haven't resubscribed. Anyway, where was I? So she's buying some bags that are dupes because she wants to test run them before buying the real thing, specifically the Chanel 25. So she went on this site, I think Jerry Hill or something it's called. I'm not even sure. And she ordered the bag that sort of resembles the 25. It has a very good copy of the shape and the size, and it's supposedly genuine leather, which is great. Like there's no CC. It's very you can tell that the leather style is very different. It's a different bag, but it really, really closely resembles. It's a good dupe, right? And she wants to buy the dupe before she buys the real bag. And so she made sure to talk about how it's not, it doesn't have any logos, and she's doing it to test run before buying the real one, which is a smart thing to do, honestly. Of all the people I've been watching, that I think is the smartest move, because she may, from experience, have realized that you buy a high ticket bag only to then realize that it doesn't work for you and you don't like it. After the fact, you try and sell it and you end up selling it at a loss because very few bags actually increase in value. So that may be a reason why she's changed her tactics. But either way, I think it's a good idea. So yeah, so she's obviously not going to buy any type of rep. Some people have a qualm about that, and that's totally fine. She spent about $100 and something on the bag, which is a pretty good amount to get a good feel for it. So honestly, I approve of that. I approve as if I'm any. But for me, like, I approve in the sense that that's what I would do. Which is what I do if I mean, I don't do exactly that, but I do something close. Like, I may not spend always $150 on a test run, but I can see that being okay for me. Like, I wouldn't spend, you know, if I'm really not sure, I wouldn't spend that much money. So I plan on buying a version of the Chanel 25 as well. I'm kind of very intrigued. I like the way it looks. I don't think it's practical, and I think it may go out of style, so I really don't want to buy. Obviously, I'm never going to buy the real thing, the authentic, not the real thing. All bags are real. They carry your stuff, so they're real. But the authentic item from the store, right? So, but I do find it important to have a good quality version. I feel like if I get a low quality, I'm just not happy with it. And they end up giving it away. So if I'm pretty sure that something like a Chanel that I think I'm really going to use for a while, and it's a pretty, you know, classic style in the sense that I can see myself using it, I will go ahead and spend the money I need to spend on it. So that I can understand. It's like what I said about test driving a car, right? If you're gonna buy a car, you want to see how it fits in your life. You know, it may not be so easy to do that with a car because obviously you can only drive it around the lot. But I think with the handbag, there are ways to, you know, to test drive it. So yeah, I think that's what I wanted to talk about. And I put out a Louis Vuitton collection video, and as you can tell, I have all sorts of bags. Now, I don't have a Louis Vuitton dupe. I don't like it when they use, on the dupes, they'll kind of cut off the L or not use the V or make the dots or the, you know, the other designs or patterns weird so that it's not an alternate. However, I feel like that it doesn't look good for me, and anybody looking at can immediately tell it's just some kind of dupe, and I feel like that looks cheap. That looks cheap. I would rather get an alternate than get a dupe of a logo bag. I just think it just does not look good. It just doesn't look good. That's my opinion. That's for me, right? So the fact that she got that Chanel 25 with the weird lock, I don't like it. I don't think it looks good. She's gonna walk down the street and she's shouting, "I have a dupe. I have a dupe, everybody. Here, take a look. I have a dupe." That's what she's shouting. And it just looks off. And to me, it looks tacky. But that's just me. That's me. I'll do a dupe of a plain leather bag, and the dupe will be pretty much the same design, but it won't have a logo on it. You know, like my Hermes Kelly dupes, they're beautiful. I mean, they're borderline alternates, I'll be honest, but they do not have the logo. But you would have to really kind of look to tell that they're not an alternate. So I don't like the obvious dupe like that. That's just me. So I won't do that. I'd rather, that's why I think I get the alternates, because it just looks better to me. Anyway, I'm approaching school, so I'm gonna go, and let me know what you think below. Maybe this is something that you've already thought about, or this is new for you. So I hope you have a great day, and I'll talk to you soon. Bye.